There we go. Okay, all good in practice. Okay, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna get better at that. Okay, anyway, so yeah, that is what we have. So let's get into the juices of everything. Okay, so now let's talk about the predictions of the campaign. You guys, this is going to, everyone needs to grab their coffee. Grab their coffee and their tea, okay? Because it's about to get deep. I'm about to go over everything. I want you first to see the video that I did on Kamala. Um, I let you guys know this before, but here we go again. For the people in the back who did not know, I am going to play this. So, because I don't think I put it on my podcast. So here we go.
Hello, it's me, Danyell, your favorite tarot.
Also, I have it on fast forward because I have no patience. But here we go. This is on Kamala Harris. This is a chart reading that I did 11 days ago, okay, before Trump announced what he announced.
Reader and astrologer. Let's talk about, and I'm in my pajamas, of course. Let's talk about Kamala Harris and some predictions with Kamala Harris. I will be doing all the presidents, and then one day I will put them all together, and that day will definitely be before their inauguration or election day. But for now, we're doing one by one, and I'm choosing to do Kamala Harris first, even though some people might want to do Biden first, but I'm pretty sure you don't need to look at the stars to know what's going to be happening with Biden, but we'll do Biden next. Just briefly, I want to say, I'm looking at my notes down here. I want to tell you that she's a Gemini rising, a Libra sun, and an Aries moon. Ooh, I didn't know she was Aries moon. That gives her a little spice. People who are Libras are very charming. They're into networking, people pleasing. Relationships are very important to them, and seeking harmony and having a balance. Diplomacy over directness is usually what Libras represent. And she has a Mercury in Scorpio, so that makes her somewhat more intense than that surface level energy with Libra. She can be very strategic. Now that sun is conjunct her Mercury, so that makes her a very persuasive communicator to some, not to me. She could be decisive yet considerate, but I would think with that Mercury in Scorpio and conjunct that sun that she has some strategy when she's thinking, especially when it comes to herself and her ego. She was born on a full moon, and usually that mostly means that her parents didn't get along. Her mom was probably selfish, and her father was probably a people pleaser. People who have a moon in Aries tend, depending on their aspects, they tend to be a great leader. However, her emotional responses could cause her to be impulsive. But back to that full moon aspect, she could always have some inner and external conflict, her tension between herself and others. Now, she's a Gemini rising, so we want to always look at her Mercury. It's very important to her, and we'll get into that as we get into some predictions. However, Mercury is in her 6th house, so I would think that she is somewhat of a hard worker and thinks long term and really knows how to process and organize things. I wonder if she's really into, just a side note, it just makes me think that she's probably into routines or love pets or just very strategic and organized with her thoughts, maybe even a workaholic. Now, she has a night chart, so that means her benefic planet, the planet that's very positive for her, is Venus, and also her malefic planet is Mars. So that's something that's really something she has to work against. Speaking of that malefic planet, let's talk about her Mars. She has a Mars in Leo, and that Mars in Leo is squaring Jupiter in Taurus, and so she could be very overconfident and take a lot of risks. I also want to say, first of all, I should have said this at the beginning, that Saturn in Aquarius sitting on her ascendant, she was definitely going to be a leader that brought something different to the world, the first female vice president in the world, right? But she could be excessive and very ambitious and really boisterous about herself. So now we have a little frame of her personality. Let's talk about her currently. Currently, Uranus in the sign Taurus is conjunct her ascendant. So she has some hidden strengths here that we cannot see. Maybe there's some challenges and there's about to be some open conflict that will be coming our way. Mars in that 12th house makes her have secret motives or secret forces, or her energy is being held back a little bit. She's reluctant in having some conflicts with this placement. Now, Uranus in that 12th house is that there's some hidden rebellion energy or something different is hidden here. So she's going to have some increased energy coming up when this Mars, especially when it moves into that 1st house. She's going to be very excited, overextending herself, probably overcommitting more than ever. Let me close the window. Sudden opportunities and some sudden changes happening with her. Mars conjunct Uranus in that 12th house and conjunct that ascendant is that she's unleashing her potential now. We see her more than ever. All this time is like we haven't been hearing from her. Me, I haven't. And now she's about to come to the stage. There's some hidden energies coming to the forefront, and that Gemini aspect adds the communicative layer to it. So she'll be talking about it more than ever. Also, the Gemini adds that youthful aspect. So everyone who has been down and out about Biden being older, here she comes with the youthfulness. Now, let's talk about Neptune currently in the sky. It's retrograding in 29 degrees. That's a very critical degree. There's a sense of crisis, ending, end of a cycle. There's heightened sensitivity because Neptune is in the sign Pisces. And that retrograding is like there's a revelation or there's introspection. So because she has this in her 10th house of career, and she also has Saturn in that 10th house of career, there is some uncovered hidden truths here. Makes me think that there are some secrets of every kind happening when it comes to her career and her public image. There's either some hidden forces, a hidden career life, but there's something hiding here. And it makes me very suspicious. Also, when you have Saturn in Pisces in that 9th house, she has that balancing her dreams of her career versus the reality of what's really expected. Now, Neptune in Pisces is squaring her North Node. So she does have some confusion about her future and where she's headed. Unsure really of what her purpose in life is. And those hidden forces in that 12th house is really challenging her future. It's going to get stronger and stronger until July 18th. Venus enters Leo July 11th. right? So Leo energy does represent presidency. So maybe there'll be an attraction towards her for being more of the president. And it enters her third house, which is all about discussions and communication. So we'll probably be discussing it more. However, when Venus enters the sign Leo, it will be opposing Pluto in Aquarius, which means there will be some power struggles as far as her image and her aesthetics and her beauty and her just being a female. There will be an impact on the broad audience. There'll be some probably intense interactions. Hopefully we'll see it. Hopefully it'll be televised, right? Pluto in the ninth house, and that's all about publication. But maybe there'll be some truths that's going to be revealed with this because Pluto likes to get what's hidden and bring it out to the truth. However, it will be something different because Pluto's in the sign Aquarius. But she will have intense scrutiny, and it will be something that she needs to manage as far as her public image. Now let's quickly talk about election day. Now Uranus is a planet that could represent presidency. However, Uranus is in her 12th house. That just to me means like hidden opportunities, behind the scenes strategies, and the sun also represents presidency. And the sun will be in the sign Sagittarius during election day. Her sun is in the 7th house.
Mind you, I had the wrong election chart. I don't know why, because I was moving too fast. And I just want everyone to know, people who are just listening to this and not watching this, I am in my pajamas. I actually looked at the chart like a few minutes before I videotaped this. Okay. I videotaped this on my cell phone. I did it really fast. And I just wanted to put it out there because I was like, oh, just let me talk about Kamala and I'll just do all of the candidates who are running. And yeah, so here we go. But we will discuss the election chart, the accuracy. Okay.
So there is a focus of relationships. Could be a focus of her public image as well. And it could be a sign of that she's very popular. There's enhanced public appeal. She's building a strong alliance. Mercury is also in that 7th house. Remember, Mercury is a very important planet for her because she's a Gemini rising. So there's a huge focus on relationships, and it looks like worldly relationships because it's in a sign at Sagittarius. Venus is her benefic planet, and that's in the 8th house. And that does represent some power or things that are very mysterious as well. And Venus will be in the sign Capricorn, which is about her career. Because I can go on, and election day, I don't know the process of the election. I don't know if it lasts for 7 days or just 1 day. I moved on to the inauguration day.
Now this is where it gets juicy, okay?
Inauguration day made me look at something else, but we'll get into that in a brief second. All of these planets are in her house of career, public image. That says a lot. Her North Node, which is like her future in Pisces, is ending, and it's also in 29 degrees. So it's like this future of this hidden thing is ending. During inauguration day, there's a closure of some sort, and I wonder if it's a closure of her not winning. However, Jupiter is in her 1st house, and that means she's very happy whatever the outcome is on inauguration day, and she's communicating about it. There's a huge focus on her, actually. So Venus being in her 10th house makes me think whatever the outcome is, she is very happy about it. The planet of luck and career is great. However, it's in a sign Pisces, which will be in a sign Pisces for everyone during inauguration day. This makes me think that there's still something hidden. It will be sitting on top of her Chiron, which is a planet of healing. This great energy that's very positive, and it's giving her some type of healing. I cannot say if she's going to be president. You're going to have to check out the part when I compare all the president's charts.
Anyway, so that is basically the gist of, what I really dislike is when people say, oh, I did a video on this. Go check that out. No, I wanted to put it here because I personally get mad when people send me somewhere else. Like, it's on my Instagram. Like, no, well, tell me now. Why do I have to go to your Instagram? Why do I have to follow your Instagram? So I wanted to put that in here so we can talk about more about the predictions of Kamala and all the juiciness of all the candidates. Okay, so that was the brief video. It maybe wasn't brief for a lot, but it was brief for some people. Okay, so that was the video we had on. I'm trying to see how can I share this on Kamala. We're going to talk about Kamala in a minute. Okay, so but let me talk about Biden here, and let me show you my screen real quick. I'm putting up the chart, and I am, here we go, Joe Biden. Oh no, that's the solar chart. Favorites, Joe Biden. Here we go. Okay, so I'm putting up his chart here so we can all see it. And okay, so let me see what we have here. First of all, we have the announcement. Let's first address that before we address everything else, okay? The announcement happened during the full moon, and the full moon was on the 21st, and that was yesterday. Today's the 22nd, right? The full moon was on the 21st, and where's my full moon here? Try not to... Oh, this is another. Hold on. Current transits. There we go. All right. Looking for my full moon. Okay, so the full moon was in the sign Capricorn. It was at 29 degrees from what I remember. Okay. Anyway, but let's just say this is the full moon here. Okay. So this is the full moon. It represents a climax on his career. Okay. The full moon was trining his Uranus. And when you have the full moon trining his Uranus, it's going to represent. I'm trying to move my notes so I can see you guys. There's a lot of windows here. And I'm trying not to be overwhelmed or overstimulated so I can simplify things for you. Okay, so the full moon in Capricorn, any full moon represents a climax. Any full moon is also going to illuminate a certain situation and it's going to illuminate his career. Okay, so that full moon, I'm trying to, because we're talking about Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn represents structure and government and leaders. Okay, it was retrograding, it was conjunct Pluto this full moon. And I'm trying to see, this is not during a full moon. Here we go. 20, there we go. There we go. Here's the full moon. So here we go. The full moon was conjunct Pluto. Pluto is in a sign Aquarius and it's retrograding, and that's all about transformation, changes, and something unexpected, letting go of something, releasing something, right? And Mercury was on his midheaven here, close to this, because it gets a little bit closer as we go. And this is also a discussion of leadership, right? And announcements regarding his career. Mars in Gemini was conjunct his Uranus, and Mars moves into Gemini a little bit later, but it's going as of today. It's on that Gemini conjunction, but before that, it's talking about his health, right? Mars is here, conjunct this Uranus in his sixth house. I don't know if I'm yelling. But that is about his health and his sickness. And also, you're talking about a mutable sign here. And anytime you have mutable signs with an ingression, because it turns into Gemini, anytime that changes, that affects all the mutable signs. He is a Sagittarius rising. So you have that. And so whenever the planet goes, that mutable sign is start to get affected, especially when we're dealing with angular houses. Okay, so Mars in Gemini also represents fast information. Talk about fast information, talking about the newscasters. I mean, I was watching all these lives, talk about all that stuff moving so fast. Hello, Sean Black, how are you doing? Welcome to the live. I'm talking about the predictions of Kamala and Trump and Biden, and I'll let you know. You're gonna get you guys are gonna get a lot of information here. Okay, you will know if Kamala is going to win with this video. Okay, I'm going to save this too anyway, but Mars in Gemini is also going to move fast. Okay, it is so fast, you don't understand. Super fast. So the information is going to go fast. I think he posted the information, people probably knew like 2 minutes or 1 minute later, it spread like wildfire. Okay, so fast announcements is what you're going to get with this Mars in Gemini. Get ready for this, because this is going to go all the way here. So this is going to last for a good minute for all of us. Uranus is in his house of health, like I said earlier. So you have the unhealthiness. Now, on the 26th of July, this is just, we're talking about Biden now, okay? And we know, I said in my video that I just played, you don't have to know astrology or be a tarot reader or to be a psychic to me to know that Biden was out going to quit the race. To me, you could just watch him speak and say his speeches. But anyway, on the 26th of July, here you can see that there is still a focus on his health and his career. And also, Mercury enters Virgo. And so that is also dealing with his career. This section here is dealing with his career. Virgo is dealing with your health. And now there's more announcements and more discussions about it. Okay. Today is the 22nd as I'm filming this. September 17th. I want to go to September 17th. Because we're really going to talk about Kamala more than anything, but I am going to talk about Trump. But I just want you to know some key things dealing with Biden. So September 17th and is the lunar eclipse. Okay, that is a lunar eclipse in Pisces. Okay, it's going to be at 26 degrees. So here it's at 2021, but let's pretend that it's scooched over just a little bit here. Here we go. 26 degrees, right? And it's happening in his fourth house. Okay, this is Biden's, the inner ring. If you guys are listening, I'm just going to explain what we're looking at. The inner ring is Biden's natal chart. The outer ring is what's happening currently in the sky. Okay, and I'm putting these two charts together, and when you have them together, then you see that the moon, which is going to be an eclipse, is very close to Neptune. Okay. Now, anytime you have a lunar eclipse, okay, also it's going to quincunx Venus. Okay. This is for everyone. It's going to quincunx Venus. And then it's also going to oppose the Virgo. Is it opposing? Yes. The Virgo moon, of course. Well, it always does that. It's a lunar eclipse. Anyway, but what I'm going to say is that anytime you have a lunar eclipse, it is culminations. There's endings. There's releasing anything hidden. Issues are going to come to the light, making them. There's heightened emotional intensity. There's a revelation. Now it's in the sign Pisces. Pisces is all about the secrets. Pisces is all about confusion. Pisces is all about delusions. Also could be dealing with drugs too. Okay, escapism. Um, also endings with I just want to tell you everything it represents, and we'll get into that. Neptune is in the sign Pisces, so I just feel like it's going to be even stronger. Neptune in the sign Pisces is double dosage. Then you have the eclipse connected to that Pisces, double dosage. Okay, so major illusions are idealizations about a family, maybe his family life, because you are dealing with that fourth house. Now that quincunx with that Venus over there, and that's in the 11th house, is like his partner, right? This also could represent Kamala, like, oh my gosh, like this is ending, and I don't think they really like each other, but whenever there's a quincunx to anything, it's like making you uncomfortable. Okay, so there's like an uncomfortable feeling with, I would say, a female or a social party that represents unity. Could also represent that, because you are dealing with the 11th house, and 11th house represents networks, or it could be the female who represents your party. That could be it too. I'm just telling you everything that could represent. So like Kamala is his partner, right? Now again, we have an eclipse, and the eclipse is always going to oppose the moon, but it's in Virgo. So you have this eclipse opposing maybe your health, because Virgo can represent your health, and also maybe um your ego. Okay, because the sun represents your ego. So you have that. But I just want to say also with the eclipse, it can represent death. um every time there's an eclipse, it does represent some type of royalty or leader. Okay, Pisces does represent endings. If you didn't know, Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac, and it represents death and endings. Okay, so that could be a thing. I'm not saying that Biden's going to die September 17th, but maybe his career dies. Okay. Let me see if we have Pisces. Yeah, it could be. Where let me see, it's over here in relationships. Okay, the ruler of Pisces is also in here with relationship. This is the traditional ruler. Neptune is the modern ruler. So this also could be the end of a relationship that could be happening as well. Okay, so now let's talk about his solar return chart, and I won't put that up because I just too many windows for me. Okay, but let me just tell you about his solar return chart. Okay, now his solar return chart had the ascendant in the 12th house. Okay, so there's endings, and again, the endings is the solar return of this year. Solitude, self-reflection, maybe there's spirituality there of the unknown, maybe there's hidden enemies, some secrets, some closure. Also could be representing rehabilitation, like hospitals and institution. Okay, or maybe the energy of being compassionate for Biden. All that is what you have for the representative of that eclipse for Biden alone. Okay, so that is what we have for Biden. Let's see what we have for Trump, shall we? Let me see. Let's get on to Trump. How do I put this back up? Here we go. Okay, let me scooch myself over. Okay, so let's go back over to Mr. Trump here. Hold on here we go, Trump. And let's do it to currently. Okay, so Trump, first of all, for the longest, I had a different birth chart on Trump where he was a Virgo rising. When you Google it, that's what they have. But he's a Leo rising. It just makes way more sense because he's very upfront and honest about a lot of things, which is so funny. He just, a lot of Leo energy, they can't hide the truth, especially with their expression in their face. So him being a Leo rising, if you say something he doesn't like, he immediately will make a face. That's a Leo rising. Anyway, so that's what we have. So Pluto is in the sign Aquarius here, and it's retrograding, conjunct his moon. No, it's not. Where is it? Pluto retrograding in a sixth house. Oh, maybe this energy is moving. So this is a different day. Okay, what day did I have it here? Was this the day of the announcement? Maybe it was the day of the announcement when he was giving a speech. So it was yesterday? Oh, this is just an hour. This was actually the day of the announcement. Yes. So the day of the announcement, when Biden says, which was yesterday, and remember we had that full moon here for him, and then it moves immediately to within like a few hours to Pluto conjunct this releasing of power here, okay? And also like something that's never been done before. You have that energy, right? And this is in the seventh house, and the seventh house represents open enemies. So now you are dealing with moon can represent female energy too. Your new enemy has changed to something so bizarre, and it's like I've never experienced anything like that. So you have that now. Also, Mercury and the sign Leo was conjunct his Mars. Here we go here. Okay. As this announcement is happening, it's conjunct there. So there's energy there. And you're talking about what people see. People are now talking about him more than ever, which you have that when you have that Mercury. That's why this whole Republican convention, he's on stage because Mercury is there, Venus is there, and a lot of attraction towards him. And that's what you have for the Republican convention. I'm going to talk about the Democratic convention in a minute, and Kamala, it doesn't look good for her. I'm just going to put that out there. But the first house of Mercury being in that chart, and also this conjunction here of how you drive and how you are, makes you very kind of like aggressive with your talking and speeches. Can make you discuss a lot of things that are very bold, like look at me, look at me, look at me. And it was a very showy energy with the Republican convention. But at the same time, this is opposing that energy a little bit. Well, it's not really opposing, but okay, let me stop moving fast. Because this is on top of his Mars, okay, there is a lot of discussion of the enemy, how I'm going to fight them. What do we think about Democrats? And me with the Leo. Leo's all about me. Hello, I'm the star. Everyone look at me with how I'm going to fight this. What am I going to do? So you had that, and you had this public perception of him during the Republican convention, okay? And also the releasing of, because Pluto is going to transform and release of the power, okay? Also, you're dealing with a lot of ego with this too, a lot of ego when you have this opposing houses here, especially when you have the sun in a sign Leo. Okay. What else do we have? Pluto also deals with power struggles too. So emotionally, and this house represents his open enemy. So a lot of power struggles with that. Also makes me think of Melania Trump and her presence at the Republican Party conference, or what is it, convention. And I'm sorry if I don't say the terms right because I'm not that political, but I'm talking about astrology. Makes me think of Melania, how she wasn't there supporting him, but she came the last day. That's something different too. Now Uranus is conjunct his midheaven. Not conjunct his midheaven. Uranus is in this 10th house here, okay? And it's going to be there December 9th, March 22nd, 2025, okay? And then it's going to scooch back a little bit there. And it's conjunct his midheaven here. I want you guys to understand that Uranus the first time was conjunct, not the first time, when Uranus was hovering over with Mars involved. There's Mars sitting here close to, but Mars at first was here. Okay, during the shooting. Can you say shooting on YouTube? I'm so scared to say certain words. So if you hear me feeling a little hesitant with things, it's because I'm trying not to get banned or whatever, but I want you to know the knowledge. Okay. Mars was sitting here. That is when he got shot. Okay. And also it was squaring his Mars. Okay. His Mars in Leo was also squaring his Mars. You see 26 degrees squaring his Mars. Okay. This Mars is going to come back and do the same thing. Okay. And then you have the Uranus sitting on his midheaven again, December 9th. And then again, March 22nd. Okay. When you have it sitting on your midheaven, Uranus, and you're talking about in a sign Taurus, what you value. Okay. So things that you value, your money, your career. What does he value? I think that Trump values his esteem and his ego, right? So you have that, and then this is in the house of career and public image, and this is going to come back several times, that energy of when he got shot. And I'm not saying he's going to get shot again. What I'm trying to tell you is that there is going to be major disruption again with his career. Something is going to cause some chaos and flip it again in December 9th. And this could be like within a week. Okay. So let's just say December 1st, start looking out. Like, what is Trump doing? What's up with Trump? And then March 22nd, 2025. These things happen again for him. Okay. It's not good. There's chaos with that. Okay. Just so you know, and it's expect the unexpected whenever you're dealing with Uranus. Okay. It's like, what is going on? And because we're dealing with Taurus, it's going to be steady. It's very fixed, meaning it's not too, it's different. Just it's just going to be different. But I just want you to understand. Okay, I'm not trying to confuse you. Okay, now, but then there's career change. Public image might go on some significant transformation. It could be intensifying some freedom. Like maybe he wants to be free from a party. Maybe he wants to be free from a partner. Vance, because Uranus also represents I want my freedom. So that could be intensified. Or maybe he's like, I want to be alone with my party. Maybe there's something like that, like I don't need a VP. I'm just trying to give you all of what it can represent. This also can represent when it comes back twice again, okay, for him. Also can represent some financial shifts. Does he lose his money? Does he lose the campaign money? I'm just telling you that this is what this all represents. We value money a lot, okay? We as a collective, all of us, and that could be what it represents for him, okay? Now, also we have Mars, because now it's separating. So Mars was right on top of this. This planet Mars was right on top of this at 26 degrees, and it's very important to him because it squares his Mars in that first house, okay? So talk about public image again with his own image. So that is going to happen again twice. Now, as Mars starts to separate from that shooting, it starts to lessen and reduce the energy. Okay. So now dates to look at Trump is July 29th, October 5th, and May 8th of 2025, because that is when it will be squaring again for him. Okay. Just so you know, the aspects of the shot, that Mars conjunction of Uranus, sudden changes in ambition, increased tension and conflict. Will they do it again when that Mars pops up again? Okay. That Mars pops up again several times for him. Will it happen again? Will they try to do it again? I'm just telling you. Okay. Let me tell you the dates again. July 29th. Mars will be coming right on back. Okay. Then you have October 5th. May 8th, 2025. Okay. That's what I have in my notes. Let me see what else. Also could represent impulsive recklessness, frustration and anger, disruption in professional life, financial instability. Now, June 20th, 2025, Mars went into Virgo, and that will affect him as well, because it will conjunct his Mars and his ascendant. Okay. That is also what you get the next year. What I'm trying to tell you in a nutshell, okay, from looking at the past ingresses and conjunctions and aspects, is that Trump has a really, really tumultuous, like challenging year. Okay. I mean, getting shot at is already a big thing regardless of political party, and I'm not a blood or a crip. Okay, I'm just the messenger. Okay, that's all I am. I just want you to understand he has it rough. Okay, you think the shooting, him getting shot at, was rough? It's just going to continue. It's just going to continue. Okay, and it's regarding all this self-esteem and his image, and could be his body too. You're dealing with Taurus now. Let's talk about currently now, right? So currently now, Mars is in Gemini and it's in that 10th house. So, I mean, it's in his 11th house. So, you really get the energy of him fighting for his future. 11th house represents the future, right? And then you also get the energy of the party, the Republican Party, because this also represents groups and networks. And then, too, when Mars gets on top of this sun, his ego, he's going to have more drive, too. As that, look forward to that when Mars keeps going and keeps coming. Okay. Mercury is in his, where's Mercury? It's in his first house, but then it's going to go into Virgo in his second house of what he values, and discussing health, discussing a cleanse of some sort, because Virgo can represent of cleanse. Yeah, so we can look forward to that, or maybe addressing some details with what he finds resourceful or things that he finds valuable is what you can have. Okay. What else do we have? Jupiter. But I do think that they're going to discuss his health too, or maybe his perfectionism, or not being perfect, because Mercury retrogrades. And when it retrogrades, that's when the gossip happens. That's when negative announcement happens. And we'll get into that a little bit more. Now, I didn't want to focus too much on Trump because this was really about Kamala, but I'll keep going a little bit more with Trump. Jupiter in Gemini is going to conjunct his Uranus. Okay, so Jupiter is the planet that's moving, right? So when the planet that's moving, which is Jupiter, that has the stronger part of the aspect or the relationship with the planets. So Jupiter is very positive, okay? It's very optimistic. So there could be some good changes happening when it comes to his communication, when it comes to his group or his networking, or his political party, maybe dealing with some something that's very different. Maybe he's going to have some luck with this variety, this different energy. Okay, this is all recent coming up. Okay, maybe he will be able to process information better, because this is also like technology and intelligence too. Okay, so yeah, some unexpected developments is more positive for him, and that's all coming up in this current energy that we have today. Okay, let me see. Seventh house open enemies. I did discuss that already, and that is that announcement and a transformation of something. Pluto in that seventh house means that he think his enemy is just weird. Okay. That's me saying it in a nice way. I mean, not in a nice way, but like kitchen talk. Okay. His open enemies are doing things that are so different. We've never experienced that. There's a transformation. It's retrograding, so that means it's just like not making any sense. Okay, the power of that B is not making sense, and this is what's representing his open enemies. Let me see. Neptune in the sign Pisces. Oh, this is dealing with his eighth house here. So there's some deception and some illusions here, and it could be a heavy weight dealing with his eighth house. Okay. Let me see. Okay, September 8th. Let's move on to September 8th here, just so we can have some more predictions for Trump. And then I can save this video and throw it out there, so I could be like, I told y'all. Okay, because I don't want to keep talking about these politicians here. Okay. But September 8th, we have Pluto retrograding here, and it moves back into his health in the sign Capricorn. So again, this is issues. Is he okay? Is Trump's health going to be okay? Okay. It also could represent his work environment. This also could be a sense of duty. Now, Capricorn, for the collective, when Pluto retrogrades in the sign Capricorn, we're going to see a lot of restructuring of government and restrictions. Now, Pluto retrograding in Capricorn, when Pluto was in Capricorn before, that's when we had the COVID. Okay. Just so you know, power over government, power control with governments, the secrets of government. Okay, so you had all that happening. But so Pluto is going back to that energy, because I guess we all missed it. And we need to revisit and learn our lessons with that. But that's just also separate. But just speaking of Trump, this is in his sixth house. So revisiting some health issues, if he has any, or his competence or his skills or anything dealing with work related items. So that's going to come back from him. It's going to Quinn cut his ascendant, which is here. 29 degrees, 29 degrees. 29 is a very potent degree. It's very strong. It's like, hurry up, something's got to end. We got a sense of urgency. So that happens here. And when you have that, there's a misalignment. And ascendant is how you come off to people, so your image. So if there is some uncomfortableness, there's a misalignment, or maybe there's an adjustment that needs to happen with his public image, especially that ego in the sign Leo, right? There could be a struggle for power, a transformation in self-expression or your leadership. Maybe they're going to change his campaign. Maybe they're like, around September, let's change this all up because this is not working. Or the structure of his campaign, or reinventing his image. That could be happening. Now, let's talk about the eclipse that's happening for everyone. But we're just going to talk about Trump, and then we'll talk about Kamala, because that's when it really gets juicy. Okay, September 17th is when we have the eclipse, and the eclipse is going to happen in 26 degrees. I want to be a little bit more accurate here. And the eclipse is, I'm pointing it with my hand, the eclipse is here in his 8th house, okay? Okay, so because we have this eclipse in the 8th house, there could be some revelations, there could be some closures of power here. Listen to me, the people in the back, okay? September 17th, and I think we vote in November, but September 17th is an eclipse, and the eclipse can last a month. It can come a month before, a month after. It is in a mutable sign. Mutable means change. Pisces is a mutable sign, so something's going to change. Again, the 8th house does represent some endings or death. I'm just telling you, our rebirth. So this could be happening for him. I'm telling you all the themes of the 8th house. It represents power. It represents secrets. It could be some money that he owes that could be coming into the light, or that maybe that could be closing of some sort. Could represent intimacy too. So I know he has like a court case with something like that. That could be happening for him. But I just want you to know that we have all that energy. Now, this is also opposing that sun, right? And his sun, his ego. No, it's not opposing his sun, but it's opposing the sun. And the sun is about the father figures, it's about the leaders, okay? And it's in his 2nd house, about his personal value. So let's see how this works out for him. Let's see if there's some closure, maybe in a court case. I don't know. I'm just telling you what it can represent. Let me see. Oh, it squares his sun. So here's his sun here, and the eclipse is going to square it. So there's an opposition. Let me see in my notes. Let me see what I have here. His sun is in Gemini. And I have a Mars in Gemini. So that's why I like Trump, regardless of the political party. I'm so entertained by the things he has to say. He makes me laugh because I have a Mars in Gemini. Not saying I'm going to vote for him or would vote for him. I'm just telling you that I like Gemini people, like Russell Brand. I immediately was into him because he talks a lot, and that's just me personally. But that's just like an astrology thing. If you guys know your Mars, what sign it is, you most likely like that kind of energy, and you're entertained by it. Anyway, the opposition of his natal chart. Why did I write that down? The opposition of natal chart sun is in Gemini. It challenges. Okay. So because we have this square here, it's going to challenge his identity. His identity of the stuff that I said I like, him talking and giving all those speeches and yada, yada, yada. This eclipse is challenging that, okay? So this could be eclipsing something of him with the party, because this does represent networks and the party here, okay? The network that he's a part of, the group, the organization that he represents. There could be an eclipse here. I'm just telling you, eclipse means cut out, okay? What else? A crisis, the direction he's going to, that may want to change too. What else do I have? Yeah, okay, so that's what we have. This being in the 8th house could be take him out of the race. It could take him out of the race. There could be a closure of the race here. You also see Saturn's in his house, and there's some heavy energy with his power. This also represents darkness, and could be a form of spirituality too. just so you know. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's what we have for Trump. I just want to just to close out Trump. I just want you to just summarize it. He's got a lot of drama. He's got a lot of cycles that he still hasn't completed. That's going to shock a lot of us. Okay. It's going to be different. It's going to shock him too. There's a lot of tension that he still has going on, and it's going to hit him several times. To me, it doesn't look that positive. When I was doing Kamala's video, Kamala, I don't know how you say her name. Kamala, I think is how you say it. When I did her video and I was doing her prediction on during inauguration day, when I looked at Trump's, wasn't that positive. Okay, just to be honest, I didn't see him winning the race. That's just what I gotta say. I thought that a while ago. Okay, so that's just my opinion. We'll revisit it another day. Okay, so now let's get into Kamala Harris. Okay, so let me go to Kamala's chart. Kamala. Okay, so now we're at Kamala. Let me take a sip of water. And I got a lot of notes for her. Okay, here we go. I'm trying to look at the notes on this tiny thing here. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Okay, so let's get into Kamala's chart, okay? And right now, we have Mars in the sign Gemini, right? And we'll talk about Mars in Gemini. Have I talked about Mars in Gemini? I'm pretty sure. But I'm talking about for the collective. So Mars is in the sign Gemini. Look at it. It's conjunct Uranus. Uranus is the planet of change and unexpected things. This was over here for Trump, okay? And it was on top of his midheaven. Now, this is on top of her ascendant, meaning how she comes across to people, right? So she has that. And again, that's unexpected fast news regarding her image, regarding her and what we think of her. Like, oh my gosh, like we get this news. News is Gemini communication, and it's changing, and it's so different. I mean, when was the last time a president? There was a president who dropped out. Well, here we go. So we have that energy, right? Now, her ruler. Okay, so transiting, and it's conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is also the ruler of her open enemies here, right? And so this represents optimism, maybe with her open enemy could represent that, or this fast announcement. Now you have a new open enemy, and it's going to be plastered around the world. Okay, so you have that. Now Uranus is the stronger aspect here because Uranus is the slower planet, and so it's moving, it's taking its time, and it's moving on top of Jupiter. So the luck and abundance kind of mellows down over the Uranus of the unexpected news, okay? Because you have this unexpected news, and the news is here, and you have this aggression towards it. Mars is like aggressive. It's kind of nasty, okay? It's fiery and it likes to fight, and you get that with her political party. They're on the other side saying, we don't even want you to represent our presidency. And they are like vicious. It's crazy. Okay. Anyway, but yeah. So anytime you have the outer planets conjuncting or moving or aspecting to another planet, it has a stronger energy, and it takes over that energy. Now, what else do we have? It's touching her Jupiter in the 12th house. This will retrograde back. This is okay. So this planet is going to retrograde back, and it's going to come back November 25th, the week of November 25th. I think that's election time. Okay. Like December 18th, November 25th to December 18th, it's going to come back again. That means this announcement that we got is coming all over again. Will this discussion of this unexpected big news, what will that be happening during the election time? I don't know. I'm just telling you when it happens again, okay? And then also March 13th, 2025, it won't be retrograding, but it will be retrograding during election time. Retrogrades is revisit, redo, and sometimes just not positive, okay? It's not working the way we want it to. So the unexpected is not positive unexpected, okay? But March 13th, there will be closure to this constant energy that she has to do 2 more times, okay? So that's what you have. Now it's squaring her Saturn, which is her midheaven here. And you see this is 26 degrees and kind of close, but it's still squaring. And when it's squaring, the Saturn is the heavy energy. It's the limits, it's the restriction, it's the government, okay? So it's not good energy regarding her career because it's on her midheaven. That's no bueno. And it's revisiting her career goals, long-term goals, and redoing the long-term goals. You have that happening for her on the 25th. Now, okay, again, it's going to happen like December 25th, December 18th. Then it's going to happen again March 13th. Okay. So you have that. Now, around the end of November and December, we're going to get more announcements of her being president from Biden. That is what we're going to get. Okay. And we're going to get a quincunx. That means that it's off one, it's not opposing, it's just a little bit off, and it makes her uncomfortable with her sun in Libra here. You have that here. And that also could represent her relationship or a female relationship or a partner of some sort. And that presents our harmony, maybe even law. Libra represents law, okay? And we're gonna connect that a little bit later. But all that is uncomfortable, and there needs to be an alignment with that. Now, Jupiter rules over her 10th house as well, because Jupiter is the traditional ruler of Pisces. Okay. So Jupiter and Neptune rules that 10th house. And when you have Jupiter sitting across this something different, now it's like, what is going to happen that's different with your career? Again, but yet again, okay? And here we have this on top of this, and it's affecting her career. It's all connected, okay, with each other. Okay, so now let's talk about the Democratic Party. The Democratic Party is called the Democrat Nation Convention. National Convention? I think that's what it's called, more national. I think I have a typo here. Let's go to that date. Now, this is where it gets interesting, okay? Now, mind you, I did a video and I played it earlier on Kamala, and she's looking very positive during Inauguration Day. This is something I want to explain. This is where the plot twists, okay? It gets a little juicier here, okay? Let me go to August 19th. There is going to be a Cazimi that's happening. Mercury is retrograding, and it's going to come back here. And whenever we have a Cazimi, and it's going to happen 19-ish. Does it happen 19? Hold on. Okay, it happens on the 18th, the day before the National Convention. There's a huge announcement. Cazimi means huge announcement, okay? And the announcement is highlighted, and it's retrograding in the Leo. Leo represents power and leaders. Okay, strong courage leaders. Okay, presidents also is what Leo represents, and the sun is highlighting the planet of news and information, and this planet is the one moving faster than the sun, so the news is really going to be the thing. But there's a Cazimi, and the Cazimi means that the sun, it's in the heart of the sun. So to me, whenever there's a Cazimi, there is a huge news in the theme of Leo, which represents presidency. Okay. There could be clarity. There could be an announcement. There could be reviewing and reflecting of this announcement. Leo represents leadership and authority. It could be a passionate message. It could be a powerful message. It could be a strong public presence. There's assertiveness with campaigning, strategic use of media, something that announces on social media can also, because Mercury is all that social media stuff. Okay. It could be this too. YouTube, also debating. Mercury is the planet of debates. So you have that. Now, Mercury is in her 3rd house. So this is really communicating. And there's a huge announcement. Okay. That's all I got to say. Okay. Huge announcement. It could be with themes that are secretive, because let me see. It's sextile her ascendant in Gemini. That's positive. So that's good. So there's talking, but it's also sextile her Libra and her sun in Libra, so that's positive. Now the problem is that it's conjunct. Let me see. Wait, my note taking needs to be so much better. Oh, it's squaring her Jupiter, and that's where it gets like, okay, so this is bigger than ever. And she doesn't want it to be big. Okay. And then also, is it opposing something? Bam, her career. Okay, so we got Kamala, we got the Democratic National Convention, and the day before, okay, we got a huge announcement, and it's not getting along with her career. Okay, this also could represent responsibility. This also could represent a restriction of some sort, a challenge. Okay, can represent a structure. Yeah, so government can represent government. So yeah, you have all that. It's not getting along with the communication of things. Okay. And Mars is a Leo, is very aggressive. And that happens too. That sun, that ego, and its announcement is also a charge of her fighting. It's like she's fighting um, as well, because that's what Mars represents. So conflict between her personal and collective goals is what you can get with this. Let me see. Could make her more accountable, but she has to face some type of challenge. Now, Saturn is retrograding in the sign Pisces, and it will be opposing the Venus. Let me see. Where is it opposing the Venus? Here? Oh, maybe as the day as it goes on. So, and okay, so the Venus here. Oh, here we go. Saturn. Oh, that day. Yes. So, sorry, my notes. Saturn in the sign Pisces is retrograding. It is opposing that same day in her fourth house. Fourth house can also represent America. It represents home, just so you know. Her home is America. So it could represent America. It is opposing this Venus. Okay, so Saturn, again, government, restrictions, limitations, a heavy weight, a heavy burden is not going along. The same time there's this announcement, okay, is not going along with Venus. Venus can represent any woman. Doesn't have to represent Kamala, but it could represent a woman. And this is where it makes me think, is there another woman coming? Is Saturn placing another woman in her home? Okay. And what I mean by that is, will we get a Hillary Clinton or a Michelle Obama to be president? Because during the Republican National Convention, Biden had so many positive aspects in his chart. And look how that went. That was very positive. Everyone's like, yeah, not Biden, Trump. Everyone's like, yeah, Trump, we love you. They did all that. All great. I mean, you know, you had your criticism, all that stuff, all that's normal. And then now, fast forward, we have the Democratic convention. Biden has, you know, supposedly, here you go, Kamala, take it from here. And now she should be having positive aspects at the Democratic convention. No, it's not positive. Actually, there's another Venus here, and it's like, what is going on? Another Venus in her home in a sign Virgo. The reason why I think this could be Hillary is because Hillary, to me, Virgo represents career and like movie, like a hard worker. She seems like a hard worker. Michelle Obama could be. Could be. I'm just throwing out some female. It could be a female. I don't even know. Okay, I'm just telling you. Now, Mars and Gemini. Here we go. Mars and Gemini is conjunct. Will conjunct Jupiter and Gemini in the sky that day too. So during this convention, during the week of this convention, a lot of news is going to be moving fast. Okay, so the day before the convention, we're going to be getting this big news. Okay, get ready. And then regarding leadership, regarding power, more leadership. Okay, and then you have it moving fast. The information is going to move so fast. It could be persuasive communication, high energy. Maybe someone's overconfident with that Jupiter, or maybe someone's impulsive, or maybe there's a scattered focus. That's what you get. Jupiter and Gemini, Mars and Gemini is on top of her ascendant and on top of her North Node. That could be very optimistic, but the Mars in Gemini is fighting. It's fighting, and you want the Mars for positive energy, and conjunctions can be good and bad. It could be good or bad, good and bad. Whatever they are, they're very strong. And so you have her Mars in Gemini on top of her ascendant. And when you have that, this could be good or bad for her public image. Someone could be going against it, or someone could not. You're dealing with that first house, so it amplifies her image. Everyone's going to be looking at her. A strong emphasis on leadership is going to be discussed. Yeah, let's see how that goes. And also too, it could be aggressive, it could be engaging, it could be manipulative. Okay, you have all that. And then also too, you have it on top of her North Node, so it's like this fight is going to help you in your future. We'll get into that. Okay, now Uranus transiting Uranus in the sign Taurus, okay, is going to where is it? Uranus in the sign Taurus is on top of her Jupiter on the sign Taurus. And again, this is going to happen 2 times. I think we talked about that. And it disrupts the norms, leading to something new. Maybe there's liberating, maybe there introducing something new to the world. Maybe it's emphasizing change. Her ascendant is also where it's close to too. And again, this can represent that she's young. Okay, because the age thing, Gemini does represent age. Jupiter retrograding in the sign Taurus. No, Jupiter doesn't retrograde. Oh, her Jupiter is retrograding in the sign Taurus. It does expand a lot of things for her, but it's hidden. Okay, so we don't know what that is, just so you know. Let me see what else. Also could represent hidden motives or things that she values secretly. Okay. Uranus. Okay, I did that. Could be a disruption. Mars and Leo. Okay, so where's Mars and Leo? Is her Mars and Leo? Okay, here we go. Mars and Leo is very assertive, and there's leadership with this, and it's going to square. Oh, it's squaring a Uranus. So here we go. Tensions with the change, okay? Tensions with leadership, tensions with challenges, okay? Maybe there's impulsive or risk taking here, resistance to change. Maybe she's overconfident. Maybe there's unforeseen events here, okay? Maybe she's stressed out. This is all during the political party. She's supposed to be having fun here, okay? What else do we have? Mercury in the sign Leo, retrograding, and it's on top of the sun. We discussed that in the third house. I think I discussed all that, okay? So revisiting, maybe there's some misunderstandings here. What else do we have? Communication issues, huge announcement. Oh, also could represent some technical glitches that could be happening, some delays or some setbacks. Could be happening. It's all dealing with communication though, because it's in our third house. Could be dealing with some speeches. Could be an ego clashing. Something that's very impulsive, something that's overbearing with that reaching up, because we're dealing with that Saturn above. Could be aggression when communicating, because you have that Mars here. Public perception. It could be inconsistent messaging or negative media coverage. Okay. Now Pluto is going to be in 0 degrees in the sign Aquarius. Pluto represents power. Okay. And it's going to square her moon. Where's her moon? Here's her moon. Oh, here we go. Okay, so the moon also represents your political party. It represents your home. Okay, it represents feminine energy too. And there's transformation and power. There's deep transformation. She feels it. She's like, oh crap, this is changing. This is during the political party. The day before, she feels like, wait a minute, there's a power shift here. Okay, and she feels it emotionally. And yeah, so if we put it all together, just from the political party. And Aries is a leadership. This is about solo. This is about me and I. And there's a change. The group, Aquarius represents a group, aka Democrats, okay? And it is coming back saying, no, we want to take that back from you. We want to take that power, because we're retrograding and we like to take stuff back when we're retrograding. Yeah, it's squaring. So that means there's tension, there's conflict. You don't feel great, okay? It's affecting you emotionally and how you feel about yourself, because Aries is about the self. It's about number uno, okay? And there is no relationship here. There is no VP. There is no partner in crime. It's the self. And there is a transition here. There is a releasing of something, okay? Yeah, feeling alone, okay? And Aries represents power and leadership. So that is what you get here. So that is what we got. Her open enemy, 7th house sign Sagittarius. Jupiter is conjunct at Mars here. So this is her open house, the house that represents open enemies. And then what is Jupiter doing? It's over there fighting her open enemies in her first house. Okay. So yeah, so first house meaning the self. Again, the self is fighting. She's fighting her open enemies. Okay. What else do we have here? Fights, talkative, tweeting, a lot of fighting through words, because we're dealing with Gemini, a lot of researching, a lot of fights regarding her image and herself. Okay. Pluto in Aquarius, 0 degrees, is going to square her Mercury. So this Pluto here is going to square her Mercury and that sun. Here we go. This is back-to-back negative. Square conjunctions, not the best. You want to hear trines. You want to hear sextiles, okay? I said about 2 sextiles, and sextiles are not that strong. You really want to have some trines, okay? So you have Pluto retrograding in the sign Aquarius, and it is squaring these 2 planets together. Again, Pluto is taking that power away. And here it is, the power of the relationship, the power of the female. Okay. let's see, either she's assertive, there's feistiness, maybe her opinions are very feisty, maybe behind closed doors, because that Scorpio is going to keep it a secret, okay? But there's negative news maybe regarding this power. Yeah, it's going to hurt or challenge her ego, whatever it is. And this is during the week of the Democratic Party. I cannot say that enough. This could uncover some truths, could be a powerful message again. Maybe a female coming over, because you do have that Libra. And I'm not saying that Libras represent female, but because we have the ruler over here on top of here, I just, I just feel, and she's alone, I just feel like it's a female. Just my opinion. Lastly, Venus and Virgo transiting her Pluto and Uranus, because Venus is on top of all these planets. Okay, Venus in a sign Virgo is going to affect everyone as a collective, not in a bad way. Venus is positive. It's like, ooh, let's have a spa day, or let's all go work out together at the gym. That's how it's going to be for us. But for Miss Kamala Harris, okay, it's on top of all these planets, and it's in her fourth house, and it's also opposing Saturn. Okay, and that's in her house of career. Okay, so because you have all this, there's responsibility conflicts with that change in Pluto. Pluto does represent change of power again, and it's like she's changing the power to a female, because Venus to me in this situation represents a female. That's why I knew her female energy on stage during the inauguration was positive. So anyway, could there be a restriction, because Saturn does represent restriction on her, and it's given to another female, or just a female in period. Okay, this aspect for her repeats October 20th, because Saturn is going to come back and is going to do it another time, for the third time in December 10th. So she gets this two more times. Not as bad. We all have lessons. We all have pressures in our life. So all of us are going to be feeling this. And it will be dealing with her Venus. So hard work of her being a female, or her, yeah, okay, I'm just going to say it with her being a female. That's going to take center stage, but overall, I remember in the inauguration, it was all positive. Everything was all bueno, okay? Let me see. I do think, and let me tell you why I think I think I told you why I thought this was Clinton, because and I'm gonna do our chart next, okay? Michelle and Clinton. I'm just gonna do it together because we're dealing with that Virgo energy. But let me see. Deep transformation, sudden change in home could be happening here. Because we are talking about that fourth house, maybe something in her birthplace, her patriotic, the political party, the opposing party is also what the fourth house represents. Yeah, domestic transformation, building trust and loyalty, seeking support. Venus is like, I want support, but it's changing. My support is changing. My support is transforming the power to another female. That's why I think that. Virgo energy also means cleansing, clearing out. If you know a Virgo, they like to clean and organize. So Virgo also means clearing out. So there could be a clearing out of power as well, because this represents power, but this is unexpected change here, okay? Her Mercury, let me see. Is this the last one? Oh, I got a few more. Her Mercury, conjunct Venus days before the convention. So people are like, happy for her, or there's announcements again for the female candidate. Mercury retrograde makes me think that the news cannot be good. These are just notes that I have here. Okay, let me see what else. Okay, so October 12th. Okay, so that's it. That's the week of the convention. The week of the convention, just to put it all in a nutshell for Kamala Harris, the week of the Democratic convention, she's got a lot of negative aspects. She's got a lot of things in her head, a lot of change, a lot of combated energy, a lot of conflict, and unexpected changes. Okay, so that is what you have for that. Let me see what we have for the October 12th. Okay. Okay, so October 12th, Pluto is going to retrograde in the sign Capricorn, right? And it goes direct. And then when it goes direct, it's going to square her Mercury, and it's going to square her Sun. The power that be. This is October 12th, okay? Mercury, again, is her chart ruler. I don't know if I said that. Mercury is her chart ruler. So Mercury is very important for her, okay? Now, again, this is going to happen on the 13th. There's a power shift for her. There's a power, the ego, the sun is representing the ego in itself. Again, another power shift that could be happening. Okay. Power and communication, transitioning, and maybe transitioning something with the news and herself. Again, Capricorn represents the government and your public image. And Pluto is the theme of power and control, transformation, destruction, could represent a crisis, mysteries, hidden forces, intensity. Yeah, and it's extreme because it's in our eighth house. So all that can be happening. Okay. Now, quickly, I messed up on, and that's what we have for October 12th. This happens twice for her. Not as bad, though. Let's be very clear. Not as bad as Trump's, because Trump's, remember, he got shot. And I'm telling you that aspect happens to him 2 more times. Okay. So that's pretty big. And that's probably because it hits that fixed star there. Now we have the election day. Now, when I did the video on Kamala, I messed up the chart on election day. So I'm just going to move really fast. And this is going to be on the 5th of November. That's when we vote. Do you guys know when we vote? It is November 5th. Okay. Okay, so November 5th, I'm just going to say this real fast. Each state has different rules from what I understand with voting. So that's why the voting part of the video, it doesn't matter because, you know, it could be lasting for 7 days. I'm just going to tell you what's going on for her, okay? First of all, Scorpio season. Scorpio season is some secrets, okay? It's like, what's going on? What are y'all, the power? Is there's a lot of controlling, whatever. So you have that, okay? Mercury would not be retrograding. So whatever the news is, it shouldn't be like we got to redo, we got to recount all that stuff. You know, we still got Neptune and Pisces. So a lot of people we got our conspiracy. There's still some secrets happening, but I'm just letting you know the overall vibe in the sky that day. Now, on her the voting day, the Sun and Mercury is going to conjunct her Neptune, and this is in her 6th house. So she may be people may be very compassionate or feel empathetic for her regarding work. Let's see that. Okay. People may be feeling sorry and like, oh, we love you, because Neptune and Pisces is very compassionate. So that could be happening for her. I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. It could be also misinformation regarding her because Neptune is very cloudy and stuff doesn't make a lot of sense, because there could be some confusion with integrity and honesty there. Yeah, but it's also sextile her Pluto, and her Pluto and Uranus, so that's positive. And that's in her 4th house, which again could be representing America. And there's changes. The changes are positive again because it's sextiling Uranus. So this is all during election times. This seems very positive. Okay. Also, what else? And you got the Venus, so she feels supported. Okay. Releasing hurts regarding you're releasing some hurt regarding your power. That could be happening. Pluto in Capricorn in the 8th house is going to square her sun in Libra. That could be a transformation in power. Both of them represent power, and maybe your self-expression, maybe your public image signifies some power struggles, could be intense competition, or maybe there's transformation in her public image. Okay. Now, on a positive, I looked at her progress chart, and December 5th, I looked at it, and her sun is in Sagittarius, and it's right on top at 28 degrees, and it's sextiling leadership opportunities. So even after her election, I just feel like she's going to move on to the Supreme Court. Okay. Because the inauguration day is very positive. My husband said that everyone keeps saying she's going to move to the Supreme Court. I can just see that happening. Sagittarius sun does represent law, Sagittarius energy. So she could be moving on to being in the Supreme Court. I don't see her winning, or I don't see anything positive during the Democratic Party. So I think they take the power from her. But I think they give her the power for Supreme Court, because when it's the inauguration day, she's very positive with her career. Okay. But when you have this sextile and Sagittarius, because her sun is going to progress to Sagittarius. And when you have that sextile, there's growth and expansion. There's optimism, and she's very adventurous in trying this new leadership opportunities. There's authority with this highlighting the sextile. There's leadership because it's going to highlight her work and this midheaven here. It's going to highlight that. And the sun will be here in Sagittarius in our progression chart. 28 degrees is also a Cancer degree, which represents, again, the home, her home, America. Okay. Yeah, her natal chart has a Saturn trining the sun. Also too, naturally, her Saturn is trining the sun. So it's just double backing a positive aspect she has already. Yeah. So now quickly so that's in September. And then if we go to the eclipse, because I just did the eclipse for everyone, because the eclipse is eclipsing something out. And September, I should have did this before, but September 17th. September 17th, where's her eclipse? The eclipse is going to happen in her 10th house, eclipsing something. Eclipse. It's going to conjunct Neptune. Again, some illusions. We're very unclear what's going on. Is there another job? Is there a job of the Supreme Court? In lunar eclipse is going to be a culmination, an ending, a releasing. Maybe she's releasing and there's closure over this presidential nomination, or Biden giving her this, because Pisces does represent endings and endings of something with career. And this could be happening around September. It could be a change and a reevaluations in career. Could be in public recognition, because she is on stage. Everyone's looking at her here. Positive or negative. Reputation might undergo significant changes, might gain profound insights, because Neptune, Pisces does represent some insights too. Neptune influence can bring the illusions. I said that, maybe illusions about her career. Maybe that will be addressed. There may be tensions between her desire for harmony and social interactions. What else do we have? Yeah, okay, and it squares her ascendant. So internal conflicts could be happening. That self-image could be an issue, but that is during the eclipse. Eclipses are very emotional. The eclipse that will be big for everyone to understand is the Hamas and Israel. Who attacked who? Hamas attacked Israel at that music festival. That was a Libra eclipse. Okay, so just so you guys can know. This year Jupiter is in our first house, though. I just want you guys to know that Jupiter in our first house is very optimistic, very positive for her. And I'm telling you, just from looking at everything and putting it all together, I think she has a very optimistic, overall positive. I mean, we all have challenges with our work. Hers are nothing compared to Trump's. But yeah, it's very positive when it comes to her ascendant. It's just sitting there. Look at it, still sitting there in September. So it's very optimistic with that, and very positive, because Jupiter is also the ruler of here, and it's on top of her ascendant. It's the ruler of her career. So, and it's got positive aspects, even with the eclipse though too. So that is what we have for Miss Kamala. And my conclusion is that I think she's going to the Supreme Court. I would not be able to really say that, though, if my husband didn't tell me, because I don't really know politics, and he follows politics a lot and I don't. So I just want you to understand, it's what he's telling me. I'm just putting the astrology together. So she starts off fine. This is great energy today. During the Democratic Party, there's nothing but negative aspects that I see. A few little positives, but her party's against her. I think they're going to take her power away. And then it starts to get positive again, especially around election time or a little bit after. And I think that they're going to, maybe, I don't know how the Supreme Court works. Maybe that's when they tell her, maybe that's when she gets it. All I know is that their inauguration day is all good. It's all good in the hood for her. Okay. So that is what we have for the politics. Okay. Hello, Black Diamond. Thank you for watching. Thank you for showing some support. And yeah, so before we get into our collective energy and ourself, and before we get into the predictions of the week in tarot, let me give you a word from our sponsor. Hello there, my beautiful souls. I am Danyell Carmelita, your favorite tarot reader and astrologer. Are you ready to take your spiritual journey to the next level? Introducing Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club, your exclusive getaway to daily insights, cosmic guidance, and so much more for just $4.99 a month. As a member, you'll receive daily readings designed to align your day with the universe's energy. Start each day with clarity and confidence. Do you need a personal reading, or do you want to have your astrology chart read fully? With being a member, you also can enjoy exclusive discounts on all my offerings just for our elite members only, all for just $4.99 a month. That's less than a cup of coffee. Join Danyell's Astro Tarot Elite Club today and elevate your spiritual